Have you ever wondered why your faith is constantly tested, even when you try to do the right thing? Do you sometimes feel like life is unfair? And you ask yourself, why is this happening to me? What if the hardships you're facing aren't just random, but actually necessary challenges meant to prepare you for something greater? If you've ever felt lost, frustrated, or questioned your purpose, you're not alone. Many people believe that they've been chosen for a higher purpose, but the journey isn't easy. It's filled with struggles, doubts, and tests that can make you feel like giving up. But what if these tests are exactly what will shape you into who you need to be to serve God in the last days? Think about it. Every time you've faced a difficult situation, whether it's losing a friend, failing at something important, or battling personal demons, it may have been a test. These trials aren't meant to break you, but to build you up, to prepare you for something you might not fully understand yet. Chosen ones, those called to serve God in the last days, will face specific tests that determine whether they are ready to fulfill their divine purpose. These are not just ordinary challenges. They are spiritual tests designed to strengthen your faith, your character, and your commitment. In this discussion, we will explore the 6 essential tests that every chosen one must pass to serve God in these critical times. Understanding these tests might change the way you view your struggles and help you embrace the path you are meant to walk. Are you ready to find out what they are? The first and perhaps most crucial test that chosen ones must pass is the test of faith. Faith isn't just about believing when things are going well. It's about trusting in God's plan even when everything around you seems to be falling apart. Imagine standing at the edge of a cliff with no visible path forward, but hearing a voice telling you to jump. Would you have the faith to leap, trusting that somehow, some way, God will catch you? This is the essence of the test of faith. Many people believe that having faith means never doubting, but in reality, doubt is a part of the journey. The test of faith challenges chosen ones to believe despite their doubts. It's about holding on to the belief that God is in control, even when life feels chaotic and uncertain. When facing trials, whether it's financial hardship, health issues, or the loss of a loved one, it's easy to question God's presence and plan. The test of faith requires you to push through those doubts and fears, trusting that God has a purpose for everything you're going through. This test isn't just about believing in God's existence, it's about trusting His timing, His methods, and His promises. Sometimes the answers to your prayers don't come when you expect them, or they come in ways you never imagined. The test of faith is about surrendering control and trusting that even when things don't make sense, God is working behind the scenes for your good. Passing the test of faith means choosing to believe, even when all the evidence suggests otherwise. It's about standing firm in your belief that God's plan is greater than any obstacle, setback, or challenge you face. In the last days, this unshakable faith will be essential for serving God and fulfilling your divine purpose. The second critical test for the chosen ones is the test of patience. In today's fast-paced world, where we expect instant results and quick fixes, waiting can feel unbearable. Yet patience is a key virtue that God requires of those He has chosen. This test isn't just about waiting, it's about how you wait. Will you remain hopeful, calm, and trusting during the waiting period? Or will you become frustrated, anxious, and lose faith? Patience is often tested when life doesn't go according to plan. Maybe you've prayed for something for years, yet nothing seems to change. Perhaps you've worked hard towards a goal, but progress is slow, and you start to wonder if it will ever happen. This is where the test of patience comes in. God's timing is perfect, but it rarely aligns with our own. The chosen ones are tested on their ability to wait on God, trusting that He knows the best time for everything. This test also involves endurance. Sometimes the wait isn't just about days or weeks, but can stretch into months or even years. During this time, patience doesn't mean doing nothing. It means remaining faithful, continuing to pray, and staying hopeful even when you don't see immediate results. It's about trusting that every delay has a purpose, whether it's to strengthen your character, teach you a lesson, or prepare you for something better. Passing the test of patience means understanding that God's delays are not denials. It's recognizing that waiting can be a time of growth, refinement, and preparation. When chosen ones learn to wait patiently on the Lord, they develop the strength, resilience, and maturity needed to fulfill their divine purpose in the last days. The third significant test that chosen ones must pass is the test of humility. Being chosen for a divine purpose can sometimes lead to pride or a sense of superiority, but God values humility above all. The test of humility challenges chosen ones to recognize that their mission is not about personal glory or power, but about serving God and others with a humble heart. Humility isn't about thinking less of yourself, but rather thinking of yourself less. It's about understanding that everything you have, your talents, opportunities, and even your calling, comes from God. The test of humility often comes in the form of situations that force you to put aside your ego and serve others selflessly. Whether it's taking on tasks that seem beneath you, helping those who can't repay you, or accepting correction and guidance from others, these moments test whether you can stay grounded and humble in your purpose. One of the biggest challenges of this test is learning to give God the credit for your successes. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that your achievements are solely the result of your hard work and intelligence. However, the test of humility requires you to acknowledge that without God's guidance and blessings, none of it would be possible. This doesn't mean downplaying your efforts, but it does mean recognizing that your abilities are gifts from God, meant to be used for His glory, not your own. Another aspect of humility is being open to learning and growing. Chosen ones must be willing to admit when they are wrong, seek forgiveness, and accept that they don't have all the answers. This test often involves letting go of the need to be in control and allowing God to guide your steps. Passing the test of humility means embracing a servant's heart, staying humble in your successes and always putting God's will above your own desires for recognition or praise. It's about understanding that your purpose is to serve others and glorify God, not to elevate yourself. The fourth essential test that chosen ones must pass is the test of purity. Purity in this context isn't just about staying free from physical or moral impurities. It's also about maintaining spiritual, mental, and emotional purity in a world filled with temptations and distractions. This test is critical because it directly impacts how well chosen ones can connect with God and fulfill their divine mission. Purity starts with the heart. The Bible often speaks of having a pure heart, a heart that seeks God's will above all else. In a world full of conflicting desires, staying pure in heart requires constant vigilance. It means guarding your thoughts, desires, and actions against anything that could corrupt your relationship with God. This could be as subtle as entertaining negative thoughts, harboring resentment, or as significant as engaging in actions that go against your faith. One of the biggest challenges of this test is the subtlety of impurity. It's not always obvious, and sometimes it comes in forms that seem harmless. For example, the media we consume, the people we surround ourselves with, and the conversations we engage in can all influence our spiritual purity. Over time, exposure to negativity, toxic environments, or unwholesome influences can erode your spiritual defenses, making it harder to stay connected to God. Another aspect of this test is purity of intention. Are your actions motivated by love and a desire to serve God, or are they driven by selfish ambitions, fear, or the desire for recognition? True purity involves aligning your intentions with God's will and ensuring that everything you do comes from a place of love, humility, and faithfulness. This test also extends to how you handle temptations. Temptations are an inevitable part of life, but how you respond to them determines whether you pass the test of purity. Chosen ones must develop the strength to resist temptations that could lead them astray. Whether it's the temptation to take shortcuts, engage in unethical behavior, or compromise your values for personal gain, staying pure requires discipline and a strong commitment to your faith. Purity isn't about being perfect. It's about striving to be the best version of yourself that God intended. It's about recognizing your weaknesses, seeking forgiveness when you fall, and continually working to stay on the path of righteousness. Passing the test of purity means keeping your heart, mind, and actions aligned with God's will, resisting the temptations of the world, and living in a way that reflects your faith and commitment to your divine calling. In the last days, this purity will be essential for staying connected to God and serving Him faithfully. The fifth test that chosen ones must pass is the test of sacrifice. Sacrifice is central to many spiritual paths, but for those chosen to serve God in the last days, it takes on a deeper meaning. This test challenges you to let go of what you hold dear, whether it's your comfort, desires, or even relationships, to fulfill your divine purpose. Sacrifice is never easy. It often involves giving up something important, something that you've grown attached to. For some, it could mean leaving behind a stable job or lifestyle to follow God's calling. For others, it might mean sacrificing personal ambitions, material possessions, or even time with loved ones. The test of sacrifice forces you to ask, are you willing to give up everything for God? One of the most challenging aspects of this test is that the sacrifices are often not clear-cut. You might be called to let go of things that seem good or necessary. For example, a chosen one might be asked to sacrifice a relationship that is holding them back spiritually, even if it brings them happiness. These moments of decision are crucial because they test your willingness to prioritize God's will above all else. Another part of the test of sacrifice is the willingness to endure discomfort and hardship for the sake of your mission. Serving God in the last days won't always be easy or comfortable. It may require you to step out of your comfort zone, endure hardships, or face opposition. Whether it's sacrificing your time, energy, or personal desires, this test asks if you are ready to give everything you have to fulfill God's plan. The test of sacrifice also calls for an attitude of selflessness. It's not just about giving up things for your own spiritual growth, but also about serving others. Chosen ones are often called to sacrifice for the benefit of others, whether through acts of kindness, service, or leadership. This requires a mindset of putting others' needs above your own and trusting that God will take care of you in return. Passing the test of sacrifice means embracing the mindset that everything you have ultimately belongs to God. It's about trusting that whatever you give up will be replaced with something greater in God's plan. When you pass this test, you align yourself more fully with your divine purpose, showing that you are willing to pay the price for the greater good. In the last days, this sacrificial spirit will be a key element in fulfilling your role as a chosen one. The sixth and final test that chosen ones must pass is the test of perseverance. This test is about enduring hardships, staying committed to your purpose, and continuing to serve God even when the journey becomes overwhelming. Perseverance is more than just patience. It's a relentless pursuit of your calling, despite obstacles, setbacks, and failures. In life, challenges are inevitable. For chosen ones, these challenges often seem larger and more difficult because of the high calling they have received. The test of perseverance pushes you to your limits and beyond. It asks you to keep moving forward when it feels like everything is against you, to hold on to your faith when doubt creeps in, and to continue believing in your purpose even when progress is slow or invisible. One of the hardest parts of this test is dealing with repeated setbacks. Sometimes, no matter how hard you work or how faithfully you pray, things don't seem to go your way. Doors may close, plans may fail, and you might even face criticism or persecution for your beliefs. In these moments, it's easy to feel like giving up, but perseverance is about digging deep and finding the strength to continue, trusting that God is still with you and that His plan is still in motion. Perseverance also involves resilience, bouncing back after failures and refusing to let difficulties define your path. It's about learning from your mistakes and using them as stepping stones to grow stronger. Chosen ones are often tested by how they respond to failure. Do you let it defeat you, or do you see it as an opportunity to refine your faith and character? Another key aspect of perseverance is maintaining your spiritual discipline. During long periods of struggle, it's easy to neglect prayer, worship, or other spiritual practices. But the test of perseverance challenges you to stay disciplined, even when you're tired or discouraged. Continuing to seek God, even in your weakest moments, strengthens your connection with Him and builds the endurance you need to fulfill your calling. Passing the test of perseverance means refusing to give up, no matter how tough the road becomes. It's about trusting that every challenge has a purpose, that every delay is part of God's plan, and that in the end, your perseverance will pay off. The chosen ones who succeed in this test are those who keep their eyes on the bigger picture, who understand that serving God in the last days requires unwavering dedication and a spirit that never quits. As we reflect on the 6 essential tests that chosen ones must pass, faith, patience, humility, purity, sacrifice, and perseverance, we gain a deeper understanding of what it truly means to serve God in the last days. Each test is not merely a challenge, but a vital step in preparing individuals to fulfill their divine purpose amidst the complexities and adversities of modern life. The test of faith underscores the importance of unwavering belief. It teaches us that true faith requires more than just acknowledging God's existence. It demands a profound trust in His plan, even when circumstances seem bleak and outcomes are uncertain. This trust is not passive, but an active commitment to believing in God's goodness and wisdom, regardless of the trials we encounter. Through this test, we learn to hold on to our faith as an anchor, providing us with the strength to navigate through life's storms. The test of patience highlights the necessity of enduring through periods of waiting and delay. In a world that often values immediacy, this test calls us to cultivate patience, teaching us that God's timing is perfect and that every delay serves a purpose. It's a reminder that spiritual growth often happens in the waiting, and our perseverance during these times can lead to profound personal and spiritual development. By learning to wait with hope and expectation, we align ourselves more closely with God's timing and plan. Humility, the third test, challenges us to recognize and accept our limitations, while acknowledging that our strengths and achievements are gifts from God. It teaches us to serve with a heart of selflessness, prioritizing others' needs above our own, and accepting that our purpose is not about personal glory, but about fulfilling God's will. This test encourages us to remain grounded, open to learning, and willing to put aside our ego in favor of a humble, servant-hearted approach to our divine calling. The test of purity demands that we maintain spiritual, mental, and emotional integrity amidst a world filled with distractions and temptations. It teaches us to guard our hearts and minds, ensuring that our actions align with our spiritual values. This test helps us to resist the corrupting influences of the world and to seek a life of righteousness, purity, and alignment with God's will. It reinforces the importance of living a life that reflects our commitment to God and upholds His standards of holiness. Sacrifice is another crucial test, highlighting the need to give up personal comforts, ambitions, and even relationships for the sake of serving God. It teaches us that true commitment to our divine calling often requires letting go of things we hold dear. Through this test, we learn to prioritize God's will over our own desires, embracing a spirit of selflessness and dedication that embodies the essence of true service. Finally, the test of perseverance teaches us the importance of enduring through hardships and setbacks without losing hope. It challenges us to remain steadfast in our mission, continually pursuing our divine purpose despite obstacles and failures. This test underscores the value of resilience and the ability to bounce back from challenges with renewed strength and determination. These tests collectively prepare chosen ones for their critical role in the last days. They shape our character, strengthen our resolve, and deepen our relationship with God. By passing these tests, we not only fulfill our divine purpose, but also grow spiritually, demonstrating a commitment to serving God with unwavering faith, patience, humility, purity, sacrifice, and perseverance. Share this with friends and family who might benefit and be part of a movement that seeks to make a difference in these challenging times. Together, let's embrace our divine calling and grow stronger in our faith. Subscribe now and be part of the journey. In conclusion, these 6 tests, faith, patience, humility, purity, sacrifice, and perseverance, are essential for those chosen to serve God in the last days. Each test challenges us to deepen our commitment, refine our character, and align more closely with our divine purpose. Embracing these tests with dedication prepares us to fulfill our calling and make a meaningful impact. As we navigate these challenges, we strengthen our connection to God and grow in our spiritual journey, ready to serve with unwavering faith and purpose.